It's warm in here. It's
Oh, it's so hot.
It is hot in here. It
Wanna
is,
open
yeah.
the window?
No, I'm all right. I'll be fine. Randy does.
So-
this all the time. AC's off.
Okay, so good evening, folks. October 7th, welcome to our meeting here at the Town Hall. The first order of business is a motion to accept the minutes of the last meeting. May I
I
have?
move to accept.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
So be it. We have here with us tonight Department Head for the Highway Department, Ed Buckley. Ed, thank you for joining us.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'd just like to give you an update on some of the
Please.
things we've been doing in the Highway Department. We've continued to do the shoulder widening or smoothing out along the roads that were recently paved on Locust Street, Judson, and Church, and we're just about wrapped up with that. We decided to do that in-house to save some funds. So we ended up, we pretty much completed that. There's a few isolated areas that we have to finish up. And then that'll wrap that area up for the year. Public safety, I wanted to speak about a guardrail. We're planning to install a section of guardrail on South Street East down at the what's known as Christian Hill. There's a bad curve there, and we had a couple of residents come forward to us and complain about their house had been hit at one point in the last few years, and they were concerned about their children and whatnot. So my general foreman and I went out, we met with them, went over their concerns, and then I spoke to the police chief about that area, and we decided to go ahead and get some estimates on a guardrail, and we're going to move forward with that in the next couple of weeks on one side of the road at this point. Pavement markings, we've pretty much completed all that work with the exception of the town parking lots, which we've decided we're going to do in the spring after the winter, so that that's all fresh. Most of them are in decent shape. We should be able to make it through the winter with those and freshen them all up in the spring. We've continued to work on mowing our easements, a lot of the drainage easements. We're a little behind on that. We'll be doing that right up till the winter, and if the winter cooperates and we need to mow and there's no snow, we'll continue working on that. Same for catch basin cleaning. We need to get that program going. We're a little short-handed right now, trying to wrap things up. But we're in progress with it, and we have about 2 months to complete what needs to be done. Street sweeping, we'll be doing some sweeping in areas where there's a lot of leaf deposits on the main roads, and any subdivisions we need to get into just to clear the drains for the winter. Parks and Grounds is actually busy right now. The grass is growing quite a bit because they did a fertilizing treatment recently, and the fall grass is going pretty well. So that hasn't really slowed up. If anything, it picked up a little bit since the end of the summer. The transfer station, we had an issue this past weekend. We had somebody hop the fence and steal some batteries from us, and my solid waste foreman reported that to me Saturday morning. I told him to contact the PD. The PD came out and did an investigation and wrote a report on it. They took some old car batteries and small batteries, apparently to cash them in, and from what we understand, it happened at a local junkyard as well. So I just want to let you know about that. We're in the process of getting all our snow and ice equipment up to speed, going through all the sanders and the plows. We sent some plows out for some maintenance, and we're doing the sander work in-house, getting all the equipment ready for winter. In the process of working on subdivision review with the planning board and the planning department for the Bassett Knoll subdivision off of Locust Street. We've been looking over those plans. I also worked with the town's engineering consultant to discuss some of my concerns on that subdivision. So that's been going on as well. And we recently attended a snow and ice conference, myself and the three foremen at the Highway Garage. Bay State Roads puts on a program every year to go over good, best practices for snow and ice removal and snow control. So I brought them to that last week, and that was good. That's about all I have.
Any comments from the board?
Mr. Buckley, recently I saw on television, in regards to your guardrail, I recently saw on television the ends that they had put on these guardrails were causing some very serious damage. Did you see that at all?
No, I did not.
It seems as though that people have been severely injured and, in fact, killed by these end pieces that they have put on these guardrails. They're supposed to either turn some way or whatever, but they are not doing that.
Mhm.
So please investigate the guardrail before you put it up to see. You can call Mass DEP, I'm sure, not DEP, DOT, and check with them, because there was a very large segment on TV regarding it. This woman had both of her legs just severed off because of it.
Okay.
So I don't
I'll
want to
review
see
that
anything.
with
I don't know
the,
if you saw it at all, Jim, but you did. So
I'll review that with the
please check it
contractor
before you, yeah.
as
Thank
well.
you.
I believe we're planning to bury the end, slope it down into the
Yep.
ground at the beginning
Yep.
point of the guardrail. Then there'll be a gap where there's a hydrant, a small gap, so that the fire department can access the hydrant.
Mhm.
And then another termination at the far end of it, but we'll try to make sure that's done
Okay.
to the best standards.
Good,
Well,
thank you.
I just seeing that, and when you said guardrails, I'm saying, wait a minute. I don't
Yeah,
think
I know
like
what
that.
you're referring to.
Yeah.
With the end piece that has the impact section on it.
That's right,
Yeah.
and that doesn't work the way it was supposed to, something to do with the manufacturer cutting it down smaller than it was supposed to, and it reacts in a different fashion.
I don't believe we're going to install it in that manner, but I'll
Okay.
check on that for sure.
Please do, sir.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Marie. Anything, Joe?
No, thank you.
Thank you, Ed. Appreciate your input. We know that the winter season is high on your list of things to do, and this is a good time to be doing it, so thanks for that.
Thank you.
I notice we have the chief of the fire department here. Jim, if you have something, please.
Thank you. I just come from another meeting, sorry for the attire.
Yep.
There's going to be a large event at the Jockey Club this Sunday it's a fundraiser for a fireman that fell off the roof, a Taunton firefighter, and they expect probably at some point 2,500 people there. All the proper permits have been pulled for tents. Captain Civita will inspect all the tents along with the building department. And we'll have an ambulance there. All the guys are donating their time. It's a fundraiser. And we'll have a fire truck there also, all covered. So, and I spoke to Chief Donovan on the way here, and the appropriate police personnel will also be there. So,
Okay, that's Sunday. What are the hours again,
Sunday,
Jim?
12 to 8, I believe it is.
12 to 8 p.m.?
Yeah, 12 noon to 8 p.m.
Okay.
So I just wanted the board to know
Yep.
that if you get any calls or whatever, there's a lot of stuff going on over there, that's what it is, so.
Okay, thank you, chief.
Okay.
Anything?
Thank you. No, as long as the police have been
Yeah, they're aware,
notified
Chief
along with
Donovan's
you,
aware of
they'll
it.
work together with you, I'm sure.
Yeah, and again, we're gonna have an ambulance station there, and the guys have all agreed to cover it for,
When did this happen, Jim?
I wanna say
months ago.
probably,
2 months ago? Couple
yeah,
months ago?
more than that, probably 3 months ago now.
Yeah,
Yeah. So it's gonna be a large event, so, and it's supposed to be good weather, so.
Yep.
I just wanted the board to know that
Thank you. And
we
let,
have it covered.
and the community to know as well that
Yep.
that event is occurring on
Yep.
Sunday during those hours. Thank you,
There's no
Jim.
questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. The next item on our agenda is that appointments for constable, and there are 3 individuals: Adam Perry, who is our ACO, Kevin Morera, who's our assistant ACO, and Lawrence Cabarrus. I knew I told you, I said it right today when I looked at it, Cabaceres. And so I would like a motion to appoint these 3 individuals to constable.
Is the police chief okay to everything?
Yes, the police chief has okay.
Then I will make the motion.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, so we have a hearing next on the agenda, and this is the one-day beer license for Spark Bike Run Sports. And, please. This is Mike O'Connell.
Hi, good evening.
Yes.
I apologize for the attire.
That's all right.
I thought my meeting was at Park and Rec again, and this
Yeah.
is how they
That's
roll
all right.
over there, so. It actually is Rock Hard Racing Incorporated is the business entity. I own both businesses, the bike shop in town and the race management company that handles the insurance for the event. So they're somewhat the same thing.
They are. So I'll defer to the board if they have any questions on this. The event that you're planning for this one day tell us a little more about the event.
So cyclocross is a contained bicycle race on road bikes, but in the dirt. It's meant to be kind of a struggle, like a silly thing to do, where they have to pick up the bikes and jump over obstacles. This past weekend was the biggest race in pretty much all of America, is the Providence Cross Festival. So that's a 2-day race in Providence. This is like that one, only a lot smaller, more beginner friendly. There's a free kids race at the very, very beginning. It's meant to be like kind of an event for the town for people to come out and watch and participate in.
So,
Where?
if I may-
It's at Borden Colony.
Yeah, so, I'm sorry. I wanted to get before the board that the hours that you are planning this license for the beer is what?
Well, we would want the alcohol to start at 6. The actual event starts at 4.
So 6 to
6 to 12.
12 p.m.? I'll let the
And
board-
you'd serve 6 to 12?
Yes. Well, depending on what time you say we have to stop. We're hiring a police detail from the town. And
Where would you be serving the alcohol?
Yeah.
we'll have it designated, barricaded in what's called a beer garden.
Yeah, but
Is it-
where? When you
Oh.
say Borden Colony, it's
Oh,
160
I'm sorry.
acres.
It is a very big place. I guess the best way to describe it would be the large lot next to the horse ring.
So the gazebo.
The parking lot near the gazebo. The gray, like rock dust gravel parking
Where
lot.
the soccer fields are.
Yeah, it's next to the soccer fields, yes.
Oh, so the lacrosse field.
No,
In
it's
the
not,
back?
it's not a field, it's a parking lot.
Between
It's,
the soccer field and the ring.
yeah.
Right.
And the
do you have a
rink?
Name for that?
Ring.
Riding ring, the gymkhana.
I'm trying to describe it. I could show you on a map. It's-
Randy, maybe you can, because
Here's
Directly
Jim
behind the
Connor.
senior
Jim
center.
Connor is here. That's the horse business.
Right, so,
Then there's a dirt road.
right.
and then there's
Okay.
a lacrosse field.
I'm not familiar with which one the lacrosse
It's in the
field
back.
is.
It's the newest one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so it would be the parking lot next to that,
The senior center.
right behind the senior center.
It's a
The-
big gravel park.
Oh yeah, for the lacrosse field. That's what that was put in there for, wasn't it?
Probably.
But
that lacrosse or
just
soccer?
Isn't it just a gravel field, though?
It's just a gravel parking lot. I've only seen it used as a parking lot,
Behind the senior center.
behind the senior center.
I know where they're talking about, but then
Behind.
yeah. All
I
right.
know what they're talking about, too, but, I mean, what are you gonna do, build ramps and stuff there, or
No, no
what?
ramps or anything like that.
Well,
Basically,
how are they gonna do any
if
jumping
you're
or
familiar with
anything?
step-in, well, they're not really jumping anything, so much as, you're familiar with step-in stakes, they're about this tall, like a tomato stake, like they put out for plowing.
Yeah.
Oh, they're doing like a barrel
Right,
race?
they, basically, those stakes get put out, and then like caution tape gets laid out to define the course.
I see.
Most of the course is gonna be contained over on the big grass field side where they normally have the horse shows. A lot of the race will be contained in there. Some of it will go through the horse field, and then none of it goes on the soccer fields. Park and Rec has already approved the course and everything.
They've approved the course. Is that
Yes.
not gonna tear up all that grass?
Only in sections that are already gone from the season. So we're working with Tom from the Highway Department, and he has defined where we can and can't have the race course. I'm actually meeting him after this to continue to go over the lighting and the course and everything else. So it does not go on the fields whatsoever.
So my thought for the board was that if the board approves this, I'm wondering if we ought not to consider a narrower range of time for the beer.
Yeah. No, I
Oh.
think
You know
so.
what I'm
I mean,
saying? The 6 to 10 maybe, or?
well,
You have to understand that we're not familiar with this type of thing.
Oh, absolutely.
So the questions
well, I
have
guess
to be
I mean the
asked.
other thing is, are you charging for this beer, or is this part of the registration?
It's being charged for.
Okay,
It's
so-
from, sorry.
The registration is one thing, and then anybody who gets beer is separate,
Correct.
and it's per cup.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
I'm sure-
actually, they buy a ticket, and then they can go to one of the
Yeah.
local breweries to use that ticket.
And are you IDing? And when you ID, are you given a bracelet? What are you doing?
Yeah, so we will actually have a staff, only 21 and older are even allowed in the beer garden.
Yeah.
And then they have to buy tickets from another person who will check IDs. The staff serving and everyone working in that area are tip certified.
Okay.
So when they come in, they're getting carded, and then when they redeem a ticket, they're getting carded.
No,
Yeah.
when they purchase a ticket, they're getting carded.
So they're getting carded twice.
Yes.
Okay. And it's going to be defined area for the beer garden.
Yes, we've rented. They're about this high. They're actual steel fences. So a lot of the races
Like a
is-
guardrail.
Right, like a guardrail, except it's solid,
Okay.
so no one can go under it. So it's contained in that area where the tent's going to be.
And that's where the police officer will be.
Yes.
Okay.
What I was going to suggest to the board was the hours themselves. If the board agrees,
6 to 10?
yeah, I was thinking, would 6 to 10 work for you? Would that be,
What time are the
7.
races over?
So there's multiple races. There's one race every hour. The last race goes off at 9:30 and ends at 10:30.
Oh, okay.
So, because it's all under the lights, so maybe if it were 7 to 11, rather than, if you have a 4-hour range you'd like to do.
I could give an 11. There's absolutely no chance that you're serving at 12 o'clock. It's
Sure.
not
I
happening.
don't think there's any chance anyone would still be drinking at
Yeah,
at
wow.
Yeah,
midnight.
well, they're not going to be.
may I have a motion?
Well, I'll make a motion to accept, I'll give them the one-day license, provided that it ends from, it's 6 to 11, not 6 to 12.
Okay.
I'm still, I don't understand the process of this whole thing being, I don't want to see that place all torn up.
Well, I mean, my thing would be what we've said before to people is, I mean, this is your trial run.
Sure.
And if you take advantage of anything, you won't be welcome back.
Absolutely. That's
So-
why we're working. That's why we're working closely
Yeah.
with the highway department and Park and Rec as to what is acceptable
Yeah.
and not acceptable, and what can be used and what cannot be
Okay.
used.
I would suggest that we approve the 7 to 11, the 4-hour window, as opposed to a 6 to 11. And you can live with that?
Sure.
7 to 11?
Yeah.
All right,
Absolutely.
I had said 6 to 11, so I'll motion that at 7 to 11.
I'll
for-
second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And as Selectman Pacheco mentioned, Michael, we're counting on you to deliver on the kinds of commitments that you've made before us today. This is new for us,
Sure.
so we're betting that you're going to deliver on your promise.
Absolutely. It's not a big drunk fest of a bunch of people getting drunk in a tent. It's just this is a very old type of cycling racing. It has a lot of heritage, and beer is a big part of that heritage. Not
Yeah,
like
that's fine.
Bud Light cans, but like
I-
local craft beer. So we've got the local microbreweries from this area are actually the providers of the beer, and it's
Yeah, and I think my comment, Michael, based on the board's input, it's not just with regard to the beer, but the entire event. As-
Yeah.
as,
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
As Selectman Marie mentioned, there are grounds there,
Well, we try very, very hard to
Yep.
preserve Borden Colony
That-
as a very pristine place, so
Sure.
I just wouldn't want to see, go down there and go by the gazebo and just see it all torn up.
Yep.
And to
We
give you
complain
some
about the
history.
horses sometimes because they tear up a little bit of it, so
sure.
I want it the way it was when you're through.
Sure. To give you a little bit of history, I grew up
Please.
riding bikes and running there, and I did my Eagle Scout project was actually improving the grounds at Borden Colony, repairing damage from
So
dirt
you know
bikes
how
and
I
things
feel.
Oh, absolutely. No, I feel the same way. Basically, what the race will do to the areas that have grass is there'll be a slight track that's worn in. A week later, that track will
It'll
be
be
gone. The
gone.
grass will have filled it in. The time of year that we've picked is the most repairable time of year, and it's right before they do the reseeding and everything else. So it's well planned as far as the recovery of the grounds.
Good.
Okay.
So
Okay, well, good luck
I
with
was
this.
just envisioning skid marks here and skid marks there, like,
Michael.
on bikes.
You've got your approval for
work
the
cut out
7
for
to
you.
11, and good luck with it, and thank you for appearing before the board.
thank you very much. Do you mind if I step out to go meet Tom to continue to work?
No,
on
you're
it?
all
No,
set.
go right ahead.
Thank you very much.
All
Thanks
set.
for meeting with
Don't
me.
forget
You
your
too.
coat.
Thank you.
Okay.
So the next item on the agenda, any new business?
Not from me, sir.
None? Okay, any completion of old business?
No, sir.
Town administrators report, please.
Pretty brief. Fall town meeting, as you know, is scheduled for Monday, October 27th, 7 PM at the middle school. The pre-town meeting is Tuesday, October 21st at 7 PM at Town Hall. There are 29 articles on the warrant. Most of them are capital equipment needs, zoning amendments, and a few miscellaneous items. Warrants will be delivered to Town Hall on or about October 16th and should be in residents' hands no later than October 20th. Upcoming Columbus Day, next Monday, October 13th, Town Hall will be closed, and a department head meeting next Thursday, October 16th at 10 a.m.
Okay, thank you, Randy. Selectmen's reports? Okay. The only piece of correspondence I have is from the the Bridgewater Rainham Regional High School, class of '94, cordially invites us to attend the dedication ceremony of the Sergeant First Class Jared Monty Gymnasium at the Bridgewater Rainham Regional High School auditorium on October 11th at 10 a.m. I see no press. Any emergency business?
No, sir.
No citizen input. I have a motion.
Move to adjourn, pay the
Bills, no business to be conducted after.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
So done.